Gradient text effects can bring a vibrant and eye-catching flair to your web designs. You have likely seen them in various creative projects, and one of the latest examples is the Gemini from Google. In this video, we will walk through the process of creating everything from simple text gradients to stunning animated text backgrounds using only CSS. Welcome to Optimistic Web, where we explore the world of CSS and front-end development, one step at a time. The markup is simple. It has nothing other than the page title. In the CSS, the body element is set as a grid container, and the place content property is used to align the content perfectly in the middle of the viewport. If you have watched my previous videos, you might already know this background setup. I often use this subtle grid pattern in my demo projects, but if it's new to you, I'd highly recommend checking out this detailed video on using CSS gradients to create seamless and visually appealing designs. Next, we will style the H1 heading with some basic typography. The main thing to look at is the font size, which uses the clamp function to set a minimum size of 2 rem and a maximum of 5 rem, with the dynamic value 6 VW plus 1 rem, ensuring the heading remains responsive to the screen size. Let's see how this works on different screen sizes. As the screen size increases, the font size grows until it reaches the maximum limit of 5 rem. Moving further, to fill the text with a gradient background, the first thing we need is the gradient. In this example, we are using a linear gradient of some flashy colors. Then the next step is to apply background clip with the value of text, which clips the background effect specifically to the text content. This property can take values like border box, padding box, content box, or text. The border box value allows the background to extend all the way to the outer edge of the border. Let's temporarily add some padding and a border to see how it works. So with the border box, the background will touch the outer edges of the border. In contrast, the padding box keeps the background inside the element's border, meaning it won't extend underneath it. And the content box value clips the background to only the content area of the element, excluding any padding or border. On the other hand, the text value ensures that the background is clipped specifically to the text itself. However, when using background clip with the text, the foreground color should be set to transparent. Like in this example, the background seems hidden because the white text is still rendered on top. To fix this, we simply set the text color to transparent, allowing the gradient to show through. And if you need to support older browser versions, you can use the vendor prefix to ensure compatibility. Next, to animate the background, we need to make it larger than the text so that only part of it is visible at a time. This can be easily achieved using the background size property. In this case, we set the background width to 200% of the element's width, meaning only 50% of the background is visible at any given time. The final step is to add the animation. We will use a keyframes animation to move the background so that different parts of it are revealed over time. Initially, the background position starts at 0% on the x-axis and moves to 200% in 2 seconds of time frame. The animation timing function will divide the animation into 5 segments, creating a more dynamic effect instead of a smooth, continuous transition. But if you are aiming for a different effect, you can easily tweak the timing function to match your style. For instance, you can use linear for a constant speed throughout the animation or experiment with options like ease, ease in, ease out, or even a custom function to control how the animation slows down or accelerates at specific points. Since the starting position is the default for the background, we can skip the first block of the keyframes, and only the second block is required to achieve this effect. Additionally, the values used for background size and background position are the same, so we can replace them with a CSS variable to make the code maintainable and easier to update. It's also important to consider what happens if background clip isn't supported by a browser. For instance, if we set the text color to transparent and the property isn't supported, the text could become unreadable. So always keep accessibility in mind and try to plan for fallback solutions. To safeguard against unsupported browsers, we can wrap our fancy text effect inside an @supports feature query. This will check if the browser supports background clip property. If it does, the effect will be applied. If not, the regular text color will be visible instead. And that's how we can create animated text backgrounds. The key takeaway from this tutorial is the power of the background clip property, along with the combination of background size and background position to bring the effect to life. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more front-end development tips and tricks. Feel free to leave your questions or comments below. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.